Well, the new update has finally dropped, and it's very exciting and frustrating if you're fighting automatons. First things first, we got difficulty level 10, super helldive. So the thing is, so the way you unlock it is you just have to do helldive, and I understand you probably already have done helldive, but it will make you redo it again. So just do it 3 missions, have an open party, it'll get done pretty quick. What I could say about Super Helldive is against the automaton, it is hell. If you don't have a good team that knows how to space out their stratagems and they have like really good crowd control and they have good aim, everything right, they got to be a really good super soldier pretty much. Then it's gonna be a tough time. I did it going in solo, and it seems impossible. It is possible, but you have to play in the outskirts a lot. And even when you are in the outskirts, you'll still get shot in the back from enemies at any given time. So you got to be very careful. So since I'm on the topic of automatons right now, the new walker strider, the new striders with the missiles on them, let me tell you, I fucking despise them already. I thought I was gonna like them a lot more, but they're so annoying. I am gonna do a whole breakdown on how to deal with these new enemies and how to kill them fast on another video, but this one I'm just gonna talk about the patch. The new update. They're extremely annoying though, even though their missiles are a lot slower than, let's say, the rocket Devastator. Their missiles are a little slower, but they seem to have tracking as well. I dove a couple times, and for some reason it always targets me perfectly as I dive, and it seems like a fixed missile, but anytime I dive, it seems my body's moving and I still get hit direct impact. So you got to watch out with that. And they fire at you, like I would say, like every 8 seconds. So once they shoot their one shot at you, their one missile or their 2 missiles, it'll take a while before their next one comes at you. So you have time. However, you will have to watch out for their primary fire, and that thing bodies you pretty fast as well. If they're lined up with you, they could take you out really quick, so you got to watch out. Impact grenades I found to be the best as usual. One at the ground usually kills it, but they do have a pack on the back of them that will easily drop it. Again, I will get more in depth with it later on. Okay, so the new strongholds that the automatons have, it is pretty insane. As long as you have the 380 missile barrage or the 120 or both of them, you'll be alright. That's all I do. Even though I go in knowing that I'm going to die a couple times, just throw a couple of them over to the fortress side in the middle, and it'll usually clear out majority of it, if not all of it. And the only thing you have to do is just run up it and just clean out the rest of the enemies, and there will be the automaton head, that being the confidential data. It won't show up for you, but it always pops up in the super fortress location, so the very fortified fortress. It's always there. I had went back because my team didn't really know what the hell they were doing. They were just ready to extract, and I kept running back, and they're probably like, what the fuck is this guy doing? But the thing is, if you go to the main fortress, and there's an indicator before you start the mission that shows that it's a super fortress pretty much. The thing is, when it's cleared out, just run back there and it'll always be there. So if you do take the confidential data and you extract with it, you have to have it in hand, and you go into the extraction ship, it will actually give you 4 rare samples and 2 super samples, so that's on top of the other 6 super samples you could have. So you'll be able to have 8 super samples to extract with, and it's just an additional 4 super samples. It's pretty cool. But I will say, not only that, but the new barrage tanks that shoot the missiles, listen, I fucking hate them so much. But they are infuriating right now to me. But the best thing I use on them, yeah, you could throw impact grenades at them, but the thing that I love to use, the spear and the commando work really well against it. Or if you have any stratagems, any orbital laser, rail cannon strike, or the 500 kg bomb, it works wonders on it. But the thing is, a couple of them do drop right next to each other, and if they're not shooting directly at you, and I'm telling you, you'll be ragdolled like hell, they'll start shooting artillery in the air. So that is, like I said, extremely frustrating. Automatons right now, I feel like if you want to play a Ragdoll game, this is the game for you. I don't know if you guys ever played a game called Flat Out 2, but I used to play it a long time ago on PS2. You're able to shoot your guy out of the vehicle in Ragdoll. I feel like I'm playing that game right now against the automaton. I can't find. Give me some super armor. Just let my health go down, but please just let me just run around without getting ragdolled. That's all I want. Okay, that's it. Okay, sorry. On to the Terminids. So the next one is the Terminids I dealt with on Super Helldive. It wasn't as frustrating, nowhere near. Thing is, I think because there's not as much hunters jumping at you, yes, there's going to be a lot more of the medium enemies, such as the bile spewers. Like on this specific map I was playing, there was so many bile spewers, and they are a little bit easier to deal with than a shitload of hunters. Although you will come across a lot more heavy armored enemies, and you will get the impaler that comes in once in a while. It's not as frequent as I thought it would be, and I'm happy that there's not. To me, it never seemed like there was more than one that would spawn in. So there'd be one once you kill it. It seemed like there was nothing there for a while. As well as the Bile Titan, I saw like one Bile Titan, maybe two, but it seems like they're kind of balancing out the amount of enemies that are in the game and the amount of difficulty. So you're not having like 4 Bile Titans, 4 impalers at the same time, and 4 of the acid chargers. Like, you're not having that, and I love it. I appreciate that, because the new acid chargers are actually pretty amazing as well. They obstruct your view so well. You're in the just dense fog, and shit's flying at you and jumping at you, and you could see its butt because it's like illuminated a little bit. So once you kill that, it's all gone. Then you realize, like, holy shit, I'm surrounded by enemies. So it's pretty cool. I like that aspect of the game. It makes it a little bit more intense, in my opinion. But yeah, I haven't been to the new Swamp World, but I did see Arrowhead playing it on their stream on Steam. It looks fucking awesome. It's really dark. It has a cool, creepy tone to it. Okay, as well as the Terminids, you will be able to extract with a mutated egg, and if you extract with it and you take it in plane, you will get 2 additional super samples and 4 rare samples. The Alpha Commanders, those guys are tough. It takes 4 impact grenades to kill one, or a flamethrower, but it takes as long as you just trying to burn 2 chargers. So it is tough. It is very, very tough. I shot it with the Scorcher with 2 battery cells, and it still was. It took me like 2.5, honestly. Really strong. You'll definitely want to use armor penetrating. Autocannon is phenomenal against it. So yeah, and not only that, but it does make the other Terminids around it enraged, or it makes like the warriors enraged. So they're a lot faster and they hit a lot harder. Be careful. So the 2 new objectives that they actually added in the game, one being the automaton human processing plant. So it is pretty morbid because they are using humans and grinding them up. And it's a very simple objective though. All you gotta do is destroy it. You can drop a hell bomb on it if you want to waste a lot of time, or you could drop a 500 kg on it. Easy. And the next objective they added was the retrieve the mutant larva. It'll be guarded by a couple of enemies depending on your difficulty, but I'm doing this on level difficulty 5. You can see him just squirming around there. You pick him up, and he actually doesn't alert enemies like I thought he would. Well, you could see here they go crazy when I pick it up, and I believe that's what it is. But I stood around for a while, and the bugs eventually attacked me, but it just seemed like how they typically would attack me. And another thing you will have to be cognizant of is that you do have to extract with this thing. So if you want, take it to the extraction zone, drop it off on the ground there. It's not like the Terminids are going to pick it up by their mouth and bring it back, right? So drop it off, finish the objective so you don't die with it, and you have to go run all the way back to pick it up. Alright guys, so on to the new environmental hazards. The new one is acid storms, as if we don't have enough storms, such as the fucking meteorite, firestorms, sandstorms, fucking snowstorms. So it's just an additional thing that they added. I already feel like acid storms was a thing, but apparently not. And it says temporarily lowers armor for enemies and the player. So we already knew that. Kind of cool. Okay, so we're getting onto the balancing. So the first one I tried out is a SG8S Slugger. So that's the first one on the list. Increase stagger force, increase spread, and increase drag. This thing does seem like it does pack more of a punch, and the stagger is, it's very noticeable. To me now it seems like it will be more of a pick against automatons, or even against the Terminids. I'm not going to say the whole thing, but the Breaker Incendiary Shotgun. It is a sad day for this gun. I fucking love it so much, and they know that fire counters automatons so well. But they decreased the magazine size from 6 to 4. I don't know why they did that. I guess it was outperforming every other shotgun or every other weapon, but the thing is, like, such a go-to, one of my favorite weapons against Terminids. And they increased the recoil from 28 to 41. Not as noticeable to me, just because it's easier for me to control recoil on this game. But if you're trying to shoot like medium range, you'll notice it, especially if you're trying to hit a smaller enemy. Okay, another sad one, the grenade pistol. I feel like the grenade pistol was already underperforming as it was. Not a lot of people use it, and now people probably won't want to use it as much. It went from 8 to 6 ammo capacity, so 6 rounds now. However, it says that increase the number of rounds replenished from an ammo box from 2 to 4. It already has a lack of rounds. They just made it more frustrating to use. Okay, one on the plus that I'm happy about, that I thought was amazing. The only thing is, I feel like they need to make this a little bit stronger, that being the CB9 exploding crossbow. So now it is one-handed, so you can use the ballistic shield. I was using it, and it is a nice touch to be running around with it and holding the ballistic shield. It's just a pretty cool little thing to have as extra protection. However, you still will get ragdolled from your own blast radius if you shoot a little too close to your feet, so that's a little disappointing. I wish it would negate that, but oh well. Okay guys, the next is both of the guard dogs. Increased number of magazines from 6 to 8, that is a plus. The next is the orbital walking barrage. Increased number of salvos 3 to 5, and then decreased movement speed by 40%. A little disappointing, just because the walking barrage, when the movement speed was faster, it's pretty nice. It was taken out Bile Titans pretty easily if you had a couple of them down on the ground. And then next is the orbital 120mm barrage. This one's actually amazing. I love that they did this. So decrease cooldown from 240 to 180, and then reduce time between salvos. So just they know that we're dealing with a lot of enemies. Just for them to reduce the time by that much it's so nice. It's very noticeable as well. I'm throwing them a lot more than I usually do, and then running the opposite way. Obviously, I'm not going to read every single thing on the patch notes, but I will read the ones that I think are actually important or have improved the game. One being the energy shields, such as the shield generator pack and the shield generator relay, now blocks snowstorms as well as sandstorms. That will be extremely helpful. Being slowed down by both of them was a little aggravating, especially when you had the shield on. So, really cool thing to have. Another one is the new grief protection system has been added that allows kick players to continue in their own mission. This allows players to complete the mission and get full rewards despite being kicked. So the thing is, if you get kicked, it's a little aggravating though, because if there's somebody that's just killing you and actually trying to be a troll, either stay and help or be a dickhead and just wait around, shoot at you, and then you kick them, and guess what? They're gonna have all of those samples to extract with. So it's a little aggravating in my opinion. So the Arc Blitzer as well as the Plasma Punisher, they added the missing armor penetrating tags. So the guard dogs could actually be refilled from ammo found around the map. That's actually really nice, instead of having to get supply drops dropped. Samples now, if you die in the ship as you're being extracted, they will no longer drop, and you will actually extract with them now instead of them staying on ground and the ship just flies away. That's happened to me a couple times. So some mines will no longer detonate if they are shot through a shield generator, relay bubble from the exterior, or situated behind a solid obstacle and shot at. So this one says Patriot Exos missiles no longer self-inflict damage. That is nice. I never noticed that, but I remember when the original mech suit had came out, you would just blow yourself up, and that was aggravating. So I'm glad that they actually fixed that. And one really cool one that I noticed is Helldivers may now use stims while at full health for their other democratic effects. So yeah, why is that useful? Well, the experimental infusion, so you could run faster just for that alone. Alright guys, well that's all I got for you today. There is so much more in the patch notes. If you guys want to read through the whole thing, go ahead and do it. There was a couple of them that I did miss that I didn't feel like were as important or game changing. But yeah guys, I am going to be doing some more videos on how to kill the enemies and how to deal with them, what's the best weapons used against them, so on and so forth. Alright guys, well please comment, like, and subscribe. Peace out and stay safe out there.